Hmm. So before I start to, give my gyan, how do you become a product designer, what it takes to land a job as a product designer, I want to hear from you all. Type in the chat box. Think about what will it take to get my first job as a product designer. Waiting for our responses. Fancy portfolio, uniqueness, creativity, proud of problem solving or improvement to design, skill set with portfolio, proved resume, proof. Okay, so let's type these things out. Actually, let's just type these things out. Portfolio, resume, keep typing. Connections as well. Fair. User's mind. You want user's mind, Vamshi? Strong visual design skills. Good knowledge of problem solving. References or recommendation. Good LinkedIn profile. Fair. Problem solving skills. Solving real problem. Problem solving skills. Understanding the platform properly. Chinmay, can you explain this a bit? What does it mean? Understanding the platform properly? Design process. UI knowledge and UX expertise. Along with that, centered designing and problem solving capabilities, along with presenting, justify the design approach to stakeholders. Design principles, right? Methodology, industry knowledge, skill to find the right problem. Like different platforms provide different showcase the skill in a different manner.
I mean, people just talk as well, turn on the mic if they have some points.
I think from my understanding, the product designing is more of it's not just UI and UX. You have to have the whole aspect of I mean the cycle of the product, understanding of that. In the sense, like when there is a problem that's given for the particular product, you need to understand it from the design as well as the user perspective, and implement the necessary requirements, along with justifying your you know the way what you're doing, why you're doing, to the leadership or like stakeholders. This is my understanding.
Hmm.
I mean, of course, like user empathy, all these things, like, yeah, that's
Hmm.
included.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Chinmay is saying uh, plat for freelancing platforms. All platforms are different, so one has to have the know-how of the platform before they come. Okay. Process of imagining, creating, and iterating products that solve users' problems. Communication, presentation. Got it. So it's a lot, isn't it? We are targeting an entry-level job in design. We are targeting to start as a product designer. Isn't it a too big a gap to fill? Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
But also, it depends on what level of product designer you want to be, right? Whether it is level 1 or level 2 or level 3.
Got it. So if you're like starting out in product design, it is more than likely that you'll start out at an entry level.
Yes.
Not necessary, of
Yeah.
course. Hmm. So how does one get to accumulate all this? This is too much to put in your bag and carry around, isn't it? Art. So we have Kuldeep joined with us. He got his entry level job in design around 5 6 years ago. Kuldeep, did you have all this when you joined in?
No, no, I just knew how to use Photoshop. To be frank, yeah.
Got it, got it. Of course, times have changed. So the time then
Yeah.
you had joined, maybe the supply of UX designers was not as
Right,
as
right.
much. We go on the internet and we find UX designer skills, and this is what we find. Is this enough to get me a job? Even that is not sure. This is already a lot. And does this guarantee me a job? Does this guarantee that I will become a product designer, or someone would hire me? Does this guarantee? How do I assess if my visual skills are strong? Bharat is saying no. Hmm. So we are in the middle of a predicament basically. I have to I have to collect 20 different skills, and that doesn't guarantee me anything. Kuldeep Tandel is saying yes, should be enough. So so Chinmay, you are saying this is not enough. So what else is required? Gustav thinks it's enough. Chinmay, what do you think? What else is required? Because in every way, someone will outperform us. It comes towards individual skills. Understood. So, understood. One should know the contemporary scenes and should have the ability to visualize the future, bring it live in real time. Got it. Okay, so that adds to the number of skills that one needs to have. Chika has added another point. Now Chinmay has added another point. Ki people are outperforming us, so we need to have certain individual skills as well. Sadly, these are the standards set by the industry. Hmm. Vaibhav, I don't think you are wrong. I think you are in the right. Yes, these are the standards set by the industry. You do need all these things. In today's day and date, companies are going to ask for a portfolio. You need a resume to apply. Connections never hurt. UI and visual skills will help you get your foot in the door. But does but are these skills enough to guarantee that you get a job? I don't think so. Year after year, now design is hot since past so many years. Year after year, so many people are venturing into design from other disciplines of design, from graphic design, from interior design. People are graduating from design schools, and there are boot camps like this, like the one we are going to start soon. So aspiring designers, there is no dearth of aspiring designers. They all have all these things. They all have their eyes on the same jobs. So what do I do? How do I stand out? I have spoken to many people who want to start in design, some from other disciplines of design, and some just want to get a job, just like to paint. Some people have taken certifications. Some friends, some people have graduated from prestigious schools like IDC, IIT Guwahati, IIT Roorkee. Yet, yet they have these very questions. I look at designers working in big companies, but my work doesn't match up to theirs. There are so many pretty looking portfolios, meticulously written case studies. How do I stand out? Do I even get a call for an interview? And if I do, how do I stand out in interviews? Do you guys also have these questions? I mean, Alexarian, I want to ask. You are working in graphic design. Why do you think you need a boot camp or to join into a webinar like this while you already have experience working in design?
Uh, just 1 second. I'm just trying to figure out my camera. So yeah, basically, I'm like in transition right now. I had decided definitely to switch from graphic designing to product designing, but there is this confusion or the doubts, like as you were reading through some of the comments, like there is this self doubt that's kind of always comes into question when I go through these other portfolios. Like obviously, like we definitely should not compare from where we are to like what others have done, but like yeah, each individual's journey is different, but like yeah, that's where I'm stuck. So that's the
Mm,
reason why I'm here, to clarify or like decode those doubts and like
mm.
yeah,
So you
overcome.
look at other portfolios and you find that the work done by other designers, basically that looks better than the work you're doing, right?
No, just to understand what's the industry standard, like it's not mandatory that like the one who has the coolest portfolio will be would have been selected. I know the probability is yes higher, but like yeah, there are cases where those kind of portfolios also gets rejected. But like I want to get that perspective, like what exactly from the industry hiring side, like what are those things that kind of considered when hiring a product designer, or like yeah, that's that's the thing.
Understood. That is exactly the question I'm trying to answer today. So
Yeah.
from my experience of working in industry for past a few years and
Mhm.
other people who I have spoken to, I think I have come to three major things. Your quality of your work will get to that level. Your portfolio will stand. You want to become a smooth talker, you will talk smooth in interviews. What do you need to get to that level? This is what you need. This is HST.
Okay.
Sorry for my poor joke. This is not what you need.
Oh shit, this is cool, man.
So, so what is the differentiator? This is the differentiator. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, this is the differentiator.
This this is pretty
HST
sick,
is
man.
HST is honesty, storytelling, and taste. Now everyone has an opinion about these things. We'll go into detail. We'll go into detail about all these things, and we'll get to how does it make you stand out. And it's my promise. Is if you introspect, if you inquire, and go into these things, you'll become a force that no one can stop. First of all, just tell me in the chat box, what do you think honesty is? What is honesty? What is, do we have an idea of honesty? Do we have ideal of, I mean, not a theoretical honesty, maybe one has read in books that this is honesty, not theoretical. What is real? How do I see it? What is honesty? Waiting for your responses here. Honesty is being truthful, sticking to your own belief, self-confidence, then doing what you say you will do. First, being true for oneself. Saying and action should match. Giving your all in the work you do. So mostly I'm getting being true to oneself, sticking to one's beliefs, confidence, doing what you say you will do. So basically again sticking to what you have said you will do, or sticking to belief. Honesty is about mutual agreement despite your own denial. Abhishek, I would like to hear more about it. Can we hear more about it?
You can unmute yourself, Abhishek.
Acha, Abhishek, you can type. I didn't get what you mean here. I'm just trying to understand. Mostly we have gotten being true for oneself, Sticking to one's belief. Actually, I'll need further explanation for being true to oneself. Actually, are you being honest about that? Yeah, Weber, what do you mean when you say being true to yourself? So many people have said being true to yourself.
Mayank, honestly speaking, I joined this with product designer that will help me in my product management search now. That's the reason.
Hmm.
This is honesty. See, I'm joining this session to gain something which will help me for my other task which I'm going to do.
What
So
is the
I'm
other task?
here. Yeah, I'm here to be a product manager. So I want to know what a product designer does. So I'm here.
You
This
want to
is
know,
honest.
got it. You want to know what is the role of a product designer? What does a product designer do? That is what you want to learn.
Yes.
Understood. So, Mera, this session is primarily focused on how do you land a job in product design for those people who do not have a job in product design. So now, in order for you to land a job in product design, you have to go through interviews, and you know you have to get hired. So primarily, we are focusing on how do you land a job, basically. If you want to understand what does a product designer do, maybe
Yes.
I think this session is not particularly for that. You can continue being in this session if you are like interested in understanding how to land a job in product design.
Okay.
Uh, I think if you stick here, partly you may partly get an answer to your questions as well. What does a product designer do? Maybe partly we can help you here.
Yes. Yeah, I was just trying to tell you honesty, being honesty for yourself, like why I am here, what benefit I'm getting from this session. Like you're telling how for a product designer, how he or she can crack interviews. So I think I can get some cheat sheets from here also for me to uh, crack the interviews.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. So I see that you have also said the honesty means first being true for oneself. So what do you mean when you say being true for oneself?
Being true for oneself is like uh, when you are achieving something like हो सकता है कि हम लोग बहुत बड़ा चढ़ा के हम बोलते हैं कि ऐसा है हम लोग ऐसा कर देंगे ऐसा करेंगे and when a person is talking about designing the person should be capable and he should understand the communication should be proper and he should have confidence in himself and then take up the design whichever he or she is doing. So I want to relate here is like the person should be honestly understand what he's like कैसे बोलना चाह रही हूँ मतलब we have to be confident, believe in ourselves and then take up some task. It's not just कि मैं कर दूंगा मैं कर सकता हूँ. It's not like that. We should know within ourselves that yes I can do and then I can take up this. I feel that is the honesty. It should come from our inner side.
Got it. So are you saying honesty is faith in oneself, basically confidence in oneself?
Yes.
I think that would define a totally different thing. Maybe I think some other people have also said honesty is self-confidence. Okay, fair. Ron is saying honesty is belief. Stick to my belief. I'm being honest. Gustav is saying honesty is keeping your promises. Okay, let me pick from here. Keeping your promises, doing what you said you will do, doing what you believe, stay in your reality, as in what you feel is real, what you believe to be real. Saying and action should match. What you have said you do. But is it honesty? Let's inquire, is it honesty? I believe I believe I'll do something. I believe in a I believe in a concept. I believe in a person, or I believe in a design process or in a design book or in another idea that I think is an original idea, or I have a plan. I have promised to other people that I go in accordance to this plan, and I go. I act according to an idea, a premeditated idea, and I act according to it. We are saying keep your promises. A promise is a premeditated course of action, policy of action. Many people say honesty is the best policy. Is that honesty? Does honesty and belief, do honesty and belief coexist? Can they coexist? I want all of us to inquire on this. Isn't a belief a respite from a state of not knowing? People come to me, people people ask all of us, how are you? And we say we are good, while we are not good. All the time, when I don't know something, I'm making assumptions about it. I'm making beliefs about it. I'm making promises, and I act according to those promises. Not admitting to oneself that I don't know. Whenever I say belief, I cannot say belief and truth in one line, because truth is to be known and lies, only lies are to be believed. Honesty, in fact, is like a light that disarms all the blind spots by exposing them. I do not know. The moment I say I do not know, that is the beginning of honesty. As long as there are beliefs, can there be honesty? Beliefs are like an ideal. This is to be done. This is the right course of action. These are like an ideals we depend upon to navigate ambiguity to a state of not knowing. I must do this, and then I do this, and then I was very honest because I said I will do this and I did this. I promised and I acted according to that promise. All those promises and beliefs and concepts were like a crutch we were dependent upon to avoid admitting to oneself that I do not know. So can one stand out by following those ideals? If I believe ideals do not exist in real life, yeah, totally fair. So if I follow, let's say if I follow a design book, there is a design book that I'm following, and I promise everyone that, even if I write a design book and I ask all of you to, just read it and just act according to that, is there any honesty in that? Action according to a premeditated idea, let alone honest. I would say action according to a premeditated idea is not action at all. It's just moving in a pattern. And can one stand out by moving in a pattern? Can one stand out by having beliefs or following an ideal, a concept, a person, or depending upon anything? We are here to become a standout designer. Consider this your first lesson in design. How do you stand out? What is your X factor? How far would you go to find it? Good news is, in order to go far, one must start very, very near. One is already unique. When one drops all the ideals which other people have also attached with, there are no beliefs that are unique beliefs. With beliefs, there is no possibility of standing out. Alongside beliefs, there is no possibility of originality. So consider this your first lesson in design. Action according to a belief is not honesty. And how does it pan out in your day-to-day life? How does it pan out in your design interviews? How does it pan out in your design job? One may feel very, very comfortable. So there are many designers you will see in the design industry. They are working, so they will make assumptions and will stop questioning those assumptions, and those designs will only create conflicts. They will solve a problem and that will create a further problem. So one can stand out by dropping all these beliefs, or at least making practical hypothesis. This will transform your way of thinking, your way of working. It's a radical transformation in the way you operate in the interview. You are not there to showcase your skill, because skill is a baggage from the past, just like an ideal. We do not need skills. We need honesty. Why do I say that? Honesty will make you stand out. Why do I say that? Because it transforms your complete being. I walk into an interview, I make working hypothesis. I look at a problem. I do not have any ideal to look at it. An ideal is like a wall. A belief is like a wall that separates one and the problem. It doesn't let one come in direct contact with the problem. Just like looking at the world with like a green colored glasses. So when I drop the ideals, beliefs, assumptions, and even promises, I problem, and then I'll make practical hypotheses and acknowledge them for what they are. Hypotheses are hypotheses. All my the process of design will become a process of discovery rather than a process of invention. This is what separates great designers from average ones. This is what makes us one a standout designer. The process of design is a process of discovery. And you'll walk into an interview. Naturally, your portfolio will have highlighted assumptions. And your recruiters will say, you are so smart at beginner level, you know, you need to highlight assumptions. So maybe some design courses might even tell you, bro, always highlight assumptions when you make your portfolio. But that won't help either. That all will flow naturally once one understands that action according to an ideal cannot be honest. Acting on a belief can never be original. This is our gist of honesty. We will use hypotheses, we'll make practical beliefs about the world, but will not keep on to them, will not get used up. We'll have to constantly make working hypotheses about our users, about the state of our product, about the future of business. However, when one starts to depend on those ideals, one has moved astray from honesty and one has moved astray from truth. So that is basically your first lesson. That is basically your first differentiator. I request you all to not believe on anything that I have said. Just inquire. Can one stand out by following an ideal? Is action according to a belief action at all? Was it? I hope I made sense to some of you, if not all of you. Allow me to move to the next thing. Storytelling. So does storytelling has any value in design? Why do we say it's a core skill? Resume, portfolio, LinkedIn, but it's more important skill than all of those. Why do I say? After honesty, why do I say storytelling is the most important thing? I just want one volunteer to tell me the story of their life or anything that they think they are proud of, or any story from their lives. Just anyone can step up who want to share any story from their life.
Just raise your hands. Anyone? I mean, forget about, we are not meeting tomorrow. So this is your chance. Just talk about you, your journey, and we'll forget about who we were, who we met. So yeah. Siddhant, do you want to give it a shot?
Sure. So our experience in story, two different things. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Siddhant,
experiences.
I'm looking for a story, basically any story that you like to tell, basically anything that you think you have done something good, something bad, that you are ashamed of, you're proud of, you're guilty of, anything, your achievement or anything, embarrassment, some story. Please go on.
Yeah, story तो ऐसे recall नहीं होगी, but the way I recall it right now, experience. I think after the storytelling is done, you often end it with something ki, oh, you'd have to be there. Then maybe you will experience it. Experience still remains first person when it comes to storytelling, because how do you recreate that? Even if you have the best of cameras, let's say you are experiencing a sunset. Let's say आप गोवा पे कहीं बैठे हुए, at a beach, experiencing a sunset. You can have a 360-degree camera, you can have a 35mm lens, you can have whatever. But the way your eyes are capturing it, the way you're having certain smell of the, I don't know, some fish or whatever, जो आपको वहाँ पे हवाएं चल रही हैं. There's so many elements, so many variables in this. So अगर तुम सब कुछ ही उसको you contextualize it, अगर तुम उसको storytelling के उसमें लाओगे, that essence will always remain at that physical place. So storytelling is a description of an experience. Storytelling itself can be an experience, but the original experience will be a very different entity from that.
Understood. So what you can see on the screen, although screen says our experience and story, two different things, but what we are looking at right now is to just hear a story. Can you just tell a story? Ayush has raised a hand. Ayush, you want to say something?
Sure. I just wanted to have a short story. Since you talked about, you asked us to tell a story. So this is about a time when I was about 12, 13 years old. And this was first time I went into a swimming pool that was more than 5 feet deep. And I was quite confident about my ability to swim. But 10 seconds into the pool, I realized that I didn't feel anything under me, even after trying for a long time. And I started to drown. And the next thing I remember after that is me vomiting bouts of water and waking up from unconsciousness. And that uh, that moments that I don't remember are probably one of the most daunting moments of my life, even though I don't remember them. So, short one, but something that has stayed with me for years.
Got it, got it. So you say ki it was you who almost
Yeah,
drowned.
yeah.
So what is the earliest memory of this you are talking about, as far back you can go as you can? What is the earliest memory of this you?
Okay, so for me, as someone who remembers myself physically, I would say, uh, me just strolling on my walker. I don't know how old I was, but just playing in my oldest house that I remember on the ground floor.
Hmm.
That is the me that I'm probably referring to,
Got it,
or
got
I
it.
remember to me as the youngest
So
me.
so it, so the young small helpless kid crawling in the walker and the other kid drowning in the pool, are those two the same?
Mm,
Are we talking about the same person?
Physically, that's how I perceive myself.
Yeah.
Yes, but maybe I've
Yes.
changed lately
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
definitely. Definitely. And we can actually go further back.
Mhm.
Before you were crawling in that walker, you were in a womb,
Yeah,
right?
I was. Yeah,
Yeah.
and since you asked to go further back, I've also seen myself in videos that were recorded of me that I don't even remember, but that still feels me as per se when I see those videos.
Hmm. So before you were in a womb,
Hmm.
you were a sperm cell. You were a
Before,
male sperm cell.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
True.
So what was that male sperm cell made of? It was basically made of food that someone ate.
Yeah, biological matter that was made from food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So was that also you?
that. Yeah, logically thinking about it, yeah, that should be me.
So before you were born, did anyone ask for particularly you as a son? Did your parents know that Ayush Patro, as you think you are, you have an entire array of experience, you think you have a personality, you have some talents, skills, inborn talents, inborn or maybe acquired skills or whatever, you have a personality, a child who was drowning and who was afraid, and a child who was walking. So did anyone ask for you in particular, or did you ask in
No,
particular for the parents you had?
nope, never, never. I think that just happened.
Yeah, so it is
If I
as
look
if
at it,
so nobody basically knew if you are there or not, including you, right?
yeah, fair.
Before you were born. So and before you had seen your videos, in womb, maybe you were a sperm cell. Before that, maybe you were a cucumber. Would
Yeah,
that cucumber
probably.
be Ayush?
Uh, I mean, since you're asking this question to me, biologically speaking, that's how I decipher me, as I've said previously. But yeah, that should be me referring to some biological particles, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
understood. So now if I have a cucumber in my hand, would I say it is a person?
no.
I wouldn't.
Uh, yeah, but since you made me decipher going backwards. It might be in the future.
Yeah. But so the cucumber. What I'm getting to here is perhaps the cucumber was not Ayush. Once you were born, you got a name,
Hmm.
developed a personality. Then it was you. You started calling this you. The one who was drowning, a body was drowning. You said it's me. But if we go backwards, we realize if I inquire, I realize who are you if not a story?
Myth. I mean, yep, story. Something that I've perceived myself to be.
Yeah, brain is a you know brain is story making machine, and before we were born, we are just food particles. Not to lose art. Stories are what make life alive. So we are born naked and we probably will die naked, probably not. So what is there to gain? All in all, this entire experience of life that we have just discussed, drowning as a kid or walking in a walker, this entire thing, all of this is a story. What we call life, not to lose heart here. If we inquire closely, we'll realize it is no different than a story. In fact, it is what a story is. I don't want any of you just believe and just inquire on your own. When was the I, that I say I, came into existence? And does it have any real existence apart from in a story? Now, my larger point is, now when there is nothing to take away and nothing that I brought in here, what am I doing here? I'm just building stories about myself, about other people. And that is what everyone wants. Story has what has made this life worth living. That is the whole essence of this life. Only story. People want to listen to stories. And there are people writing jargon in their case studies. Companies too want to listen to stories. What you hide, you write jargon and you hide behind those stories. So many of the other people, every other person that will walk in an interview that you are also appearing for would have a bunch of jargon written in their case studies, except for rare few. While jargon, people use jargon to hide themselves, story reveals who you are. People reveal themselves in stories. If I can see in its entirety that the fundamental requirement for experience to exist is story. There is no other experience that exists outside of a story. Outside of story, they're merely cucumbers. Companies too want to listen to stories. Design is a very difficult job. It takes a lot of you. It takes a lot, it asks a lot from you as you keep working in it. Until you have a real reason to keep working, most of us just burn out. And are we here to just get a job? I mean, getting your first job is like kissing your crush. You don't stop there. You have to like keep going. How do you keep going? One has to understand. So basically, this is considered this your second lesson in design. Experience is not different from story. User experience is not different from telling stories. If I'm doing anything but telling a story, I'm doing a disservice, because story is the only thing that has made this life worth living. There is no other meaning in here. Story give existence its meaning. So now this is your homework. If it makes sense to maybe one or two of you, I would like you guys to just go home and think. So what is a story in fact? How is it made? Maybe this will give you an insight into how does an experience come into existence. So allow me to move to basically. Are you guys tired yet? Can I move to taste? Hmm. ठीक है. Okay. This is the last thing that you need to have. One is honesty. We have already discussed. Honesty is, so now Gustav had commented, I believe that, let me read that comment aloud. Um, I believe that we can focus on our key qualities, and these characteristics define who we truly are. Again, this is a belief. Wherever I see belief, I see a lie. I take shelter in a belief in order to avoid my sense of not knowing. So one has to get out of beliefs that makes one stand out. Second thing that we discussed is understand how a story is made, because there is nothing worth anything except for stories. A story is an entire experience. Now, the last thing that one needs to understand to walk into an interview and ace it and keep acing throughout their lives, if one can understand, taste is why they are paid. What is taste? See, I'll quote from my own design experience. So I'll design something. I see, yeah, this is a good idea. I must make this. Now I have made this idea. I have to convince the stakeholders. I'll make just some strategic justification for that solution. So I have to explain to them without relying on 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 good taste, which they might or might not have. I hope you guys relate. Many of you already work in design. You make so many design decisions, and you have to explain to other people, and they have a different sense of style, a different sense of class, a different sense of taste. We have some rough idea of what taste is, right? So now one designer thinks there should be wizards, another thinks there should be dashboards. One thinks I should handhold the user from step one, other thinks that user should be free to explore. One designer would think I must give a lot of preferences, a lot of customizations. Other one would say ki, I must only have features which work best. So we don't research all these things. Research is expensive. You cannot be researching everything. We make hundreds of assumptions when we work in design. You know, if any of you watches chess, there is a chess grandmaster. Their skill level is totally another level than compared to a regular chess player. Totally another level. Do they spend a lot of time thinking about it, about the next move? Maybe slightly more, but the skill gap is like huge. So why does that? How does that come about? If one studies it closely, chess is also like a matter of taste. One has practiced so many permutations. Permutations design are limited by the number of constraints and imagination you have. Permutation in chess are like 3 per move multiplied by 9 million. So chess is pretty closer to design than to mathematical reasoning. A sense of taste is why you are hired, because your client trusts you. I have certain skills that I'm inborn with. Some people have an ear for music. Some people have a nimble musculature good for sports. So now then, similarly, some people have a sense of taste. Combined with sharpened skills and combined with some cultural exposure, people are able to convey messages in a way that evokes the right social reaction from the target audience. Taste is what has made Apple so big today. So what do I do with it? Yeah, this has come to like a point. If I have the taste or if I don't have taste, is there good taste or bad taste? Is my taste bad? Can I improve it? So, Alexarian, you're already working in design, and you said ki other people's portfolio look better than mine. Other people's design process has other people's design process have something that I do not have. Maybe when I say these things, what I'm pointing at is I already have taste. Taste can be trained. This is the only thing I'm not going to give you. Not going to give you theory. Taste can be trained just like one trains in chess. Taste is the ability to draw on patterns and choose better patterns for analysis. I can choose 20,000 fonts, but which two I choose and compare. So taste is the ability to draw on patterns. So how do you develop a taste? One needs to look at patterns. One need to look at grandmasters in action. One need to work on those patterns. So at Unlearn Design, especially, we have designed a formula to train taste. We are calling it I do, we do, you do. You can look forward to this in unrun sessions, where first of all you look at how does one a professional designer make decisions. Then we'll make those decisions together. Then it's up to you to make those decisions. We can train taste, and this is the biggest differentiator. So this is where I want to take a pause here. I hope I made sense to some of you. Happy to welcome your questions. You can type in the chat box. I'm here to answer. Also would like to take this opportunity to tell you all the people who have graduated from Unlearn products so far. There have been 5 cohorts. 100% of those people are working in top companies. There is not one person who have gone through Unlearn product and didn't get a job in domain of their choice. Rohan has been teaching. It's been 5 cohorts.
So I just wanted to say this was quite completely different tangent of explanation that you gave how to navigate on getting your first product design job. It was quite completely different. I never heard it. It was really good. I'm not sure what others, but I could completely connect with each and everything that you said. I just have one question. Like the way you said, like it's completely makes sense. But my doubt is how much of, like, I've been hearing people saying like, okay, nobody looks through user case study. Like they'll just glance at it and I mean, yeah, the attention span that they spend while looking at the multiple case studies is very less. So you just had to grab the attention. You just had to make sure that whatever you have put across grabs their attention. So with that said, like the way you said about storytelling, it was really good. Like when me, as in, like if I do that, like from your experience, let's say, I'm assuming you must have taken some interviews um, for product designers. Like in that case, like have you gone through details like how much of an interview would go in detail of each and every user case that a portfolio has? I just want to know that perspective. I hope
And
my question makes sense.
yeah, understood. So yeah, I have gotten an opportunity to hire many people, especially in Glance, and have reviewed so many portfolios for Glance and for other companies as well. And from distilling that process of hiring, this is the conclusion that I've come at, and this is still refining. I'm still only beginning to learn. So this is what I've seen. I have found that the key qualities that I'm always looking at in a portfolio are these three: honesty, storytelling, and taste. You tried your portfolio, write a bunch of jargon, I get bored because I am a human. This is an experience. Experience is made of stories. You start your portfolio, once upon a time there was a user, I'll read the next line.
Okay. So basically, you need to sell yourself as a product at first if you want to make it as a product designer. If
You
that
are
makes
you are
sense.
you know, perhaps you are seeking to again get something to depend upon. There can be a short trick I can get. There can be a formula, a method, a
No, there is
concept.
that like you completely kind of made it clear. There is nothing as such. It's all about putting out your personality. I mean, everybody has their own story. So how you bring it out in design is, I mean, that's what I understood.
Hmm. Basically keep at it. Just do not settle at one conclusion. The moment you settle at one conclusion, the entire thing is like waste. It will go to waste.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do read into portfolios, and this is what I found out. The maximum people, especially for beginner roles, They are just hiding behind jargons. Especially, I am also, unfortunately, I am also, one of the 3 month boot camps who I am like campaigning against. But what they end up teaching people is how to hide behind jargons, how not to be honest, how not to tell a story rather than tell a process. I would say a method or a process is for the thing one can live without. When I am hungry, I do not look at food pictures and I do not go to a coach to tell me a 3 step process to eat. If one can look at design problems with a true care, all these things automatically dissolve. If someone has worked with true care on a very, very small problem, I do not see, I have never seen, I have never valued if someone has worked in a big organization, small organization, big pedigree, great set of problems, big impact, nothing matters. At least maybe it does matter for some recruiters or recruiting managers. What I'm looking at is, has this person cared about any small problem in complete honesty?
Yeah, that matters.
That is all what matters. Who are we fooling?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thanks to you, Alexarian, and thanks to everyone else for joining. Uh, we are starting our uh, cohort-based course very, very soon. Rohan will give you details. And we are taking applications. The applications will go through a screening process. I'll personally review each of the applications. And this is the first time, basically, we are doing for design. We have done it for product management. That has turned out really, really great. We are overwhelmed by the results that we have gotten. In design, we want to take it to the next level. Do not want to produce mediocre designers. Do not want to just crowd the industry with mediocrity. If some of you want to truly stand out, no matter what it takes, I'll try to help you. Thanks again.
I mean, if anyone else has any questions as well, you can drop in, get some questions answered by Mayank. And if you're looking to apply, here's the link. I'll just drop in. Again, we'll be reviewing the applications. So make sure you're adding all the details, not missing out on any details, so that we can have a look entirely. And yeah, this is the time. We'll be just taking an application for the next 2 days. That's it. And we'll start the cohort on Saturday, Mayank, next Saturday. I think 28 Jan. So that's the time. And again, if you're just coming in for, let's say, getting a job, I would say this is not the place. If you are coming in saying that I want to be the top 1% or the top designer, then this is the place, I would say. That's it. We are not here to do any mediocre stuff. This is why we have made sure our PM cohorts are also very intimate. We just choose the people very good, and then make sure they are doing well in some good companies as well. And we want to move it forward with design. So yeah, yeah, that's it. Over to you, Mank. Anyone who has a question, you can just raise your hand and ask. And Mank, thank you so much again for this session. मेरे लिए भी मजा आया मेरे को.
Thanks to you, yeah.
Awesome.
And thanks to all those people who joined. Is it possible that your personal taste influences choice when evaluating certain candidates? Yes, it does. Gustav, it definitely does. I've already made it clear. Taste is why you are hired. This is where
Just
design.
one more, Mike, just one more thing that Gustav said was, before we wrap up this session, could you tell us a bit about your professional journey, a part of your professional journey? So far, how have all you have done so far?
Is
If
my
we have time.
are you asking about my own professional journey?
Gustav asked this. I think if people have time, then we can stay. Else, we can just take a leave as well. And if you can, I think that'd be super awesome for people to know your journey as well.
Yeah, I'm having some trouble accessing it. The video is stuck. Just allow me to join again.
Cool. All right. Anyone who has a question or any feedback that you have for the session, we'll try to incorporate for the next session as well. But did you enjoy it? The whole idea was that you could take away something and then, yeah. Did you enjoy it? If yes, do let me know and do Mayank know. Really thankful.
Yes.
Pretty sick. I mean, pretty sick given this whole session was prepared in 30 minutes, I guess. 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Mayank, you're back.
Yeah. I'm back. So
There was
I
one
think
question.
I think before I left, I was answering Gustav's question about personal preference. I think was that communicated well, Gustav? Is he still here? They have left.
Gustav has asked one more question, man,
Huh.
about your professional journey. So
Acha, he has asked. Yeah, my professional journey. I was doing engineering in a college, and I also like to tell stories since as far back as I can remember. And I was making short films and started a couple of small businesses, but had never heard of design or UX before I got headfirst into my first design job with literally no relevant education or experience to speak of. All I had was a little bit of honesty, a little bit of storytelling, a little bit of taste. I joined in a I joined in an organization who worked to digitize small medium enterprise in India. In a couple of years, the digital business went threefold. Later, when I joined Builder.ai, was working on a enterprise platform. We were able to onboard 3x of the target partners that we had originally planned for. I moved to InMobi, was working on InMobi's advertisement demand side platform. Spent 1 year there doing some business as usual, building some component libraries and stuff. Post that, I joined Glance. That is where I found my home. Always like to understand and respond to human behaviors. Glance was in consumer space. Been working there. Have launched 3 new propositions, launched in 1 new market. DAU, basically number of daily active users, has been up 2x. And for the first time, Glance's NPS has gone positive. That is all our team has been able to accomplish in last 2 years.
Just to add on to that, Glance DAU is 100 million users every day. So that's lower than Instagram. And designing for that scale requires real human empathy and whatever, I don't know. But so that's the skill man comes up with. Yeah. So designing for 100 million active users every day, that's tough, I would say. Awesome.
Okay,
I
so
think
let's call it a good night, right?
yeah, I think let's call it a good night.
Thank you
Okay.
everyone for joining.
bye bye.
Awesome. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much for joining in, folks. Really thrilled you can join in and spend your time. And see you next time. See you until next time. Right.
Thank you.
Have a good day, man. Alexarian has a great setup, though. बताना भूल गया. Thanks, Amir.
Thanks, Ayush, for the story.
Thanks for the perspective.
Okay, I think let me just remove people. Hi, Nandini. Okay, Nandini is gone. Let's remove. Let me just remove recording.